Stan Lee, or Stanley Martin Lieber, the comic book legend, was the editor-in-chief of Marvel Comics and later his publisher and chairman. His life has been an open book. Here are some interesting facts. Number 1. Filed a lawsuit against Marvel. Everyone knows his connection with the Marvel Comics. This is something probably you might not know. In 2002, Stan Lee filed a lawsuit against Marvel as he received no royalties from the first Spider-Man movie. In 2005, a $10 million settlement with Marvel was agreed. Number 2. One of his catchphrases is the New York State motto. One of Stan Lee's most famous catchphrases is Exclamation, which means ever upward. This is actually the official motto of the state of New York. Number 3. Served in the US Army. Stan served in the US Army. He worked for the Signal Corps during World War II. He wrote manuals and scripts for training films as part of the Signal Corps and is one of the 9 people in the Army listed as playwright. Number 4. He posed nude. Once, Joe Rubinstein, a comic book artist associated with Marvel Comics, had an idea to get the female staffers at Marvel to do a wet t-shirt contest. Later, Stan Lee walked in saying someone could do a centerfold for the book. And in the published comic book, Lee ended up wearing a giant Hulk costume. But the fact is, in the original photograph, he was nude, covered only by a copy of the popular Batman vs. Incredible Hulk book. Number 5. He nearly went out of business in the 1950s. Stan Lee became an editor at Timely Comics in 1941, which was renamed as Atlas Comics in 1950s, which eventually became Marvel Comics in 1961. In the early 1950s, Atlas Comics distributed their own comic books. However, in 1956, Martin Goodman, its owner, decided to distribute through the American News Company, which was being sued by the federal government, and at some point, Atlas Comics didn't have anyone to distribute their comic books. Luckily, Goodman worked out a deal with DC Comics, and in 1958, Atlas started growing again. Number 6. Contracts and deals with Marvel. It is no secret that Stan Lee does cameo roles in many Marvel movies, but actually it is part of his contract. A special clause in the agreement specifies that Stan must appear in any film based on one of his characters. In 1998, Stan signed another lifetime contract with Marvel Enterprises Incorporated, which requires that he spends only 10% of his time with the company. Number 7. He banned the exclamation marks. At one point in 1971, Lee felt that the tradition of having a lot of exclamation marks in Marvel Comics was childish, so he actually banned their use. Later, the new writers of Fantastic Four and Amazing Spider-Man did not keep the ban up, and Lee seemed to forget about it as well. Number 8. Was awarded the American National Medal of Arts. In 2008, Stan was awarded the American National Medal of the Arts. The then US President George W. Bush presented it to Stan Lee. Thanks for being with PersonalX, and if you like our videos, please comment, like and subscribe. Thank you.